Welcome to Nerdindex, and today we're going to be previewing all of the shows that will air for the Winter 2025 anime season. And first off, I'm going to address some of the shows from the fall season that are rolling over now that we have the announcements of how many episodes each show is going to be. There were quite a few of them actually from fall that were going to be 25 episodes instead of 12. And the announcement for the ReZero season, for example, where they're splitting the 16 episodes and taking a break in between. So the shows from fall that we aren't going to watch until they finish at the end of March, or roughly at the end of March, are Orb, Shangri-La Frontier, A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School, Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister, Blue Box, Haigakura, although that's been delayed and we don't have an official restart date, Rurouni Kenshin, and ReZero. Next, we're going to talk about the shows that have returning seasons for Winter 2025. This will include Solo Leveling, which I wasn't super hype on, not to the same extent that a lot of other people seemed to be in the community, but I am interested to see where they take it through a season 2. And then the second season of Apothecary Diaries, which I am very much looking forward to. Apothecary Diaries was one of my favorite shows from the last year. And then we have the final season of Dr. Stone, although I've seen a couple articles that said that they're going to split that final season into 3 cores, which would theoretically mean it's not going to be done by March. The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You season 2 is coming. I'm interested to meet the new girls, but it also looks like we're just getting another introvert in that mix, which I feel like obviously the role is taken. We don't need another one. My Happy Marriage season 2. I'm really looking forward to this one as well. The first season was really good. I hope that they expand on the use of magic some more in season 2. And Toilet Bound Hanako season 2, even though it's like we've already had a season 2 with the 2 4-part in between segments that they gave us. And finally, we're getting a second season for Unnamed Memory, which is another show that I really enjoyed the first season for, and I'm intrigued to see what the reset or like the time shift that they did is going to do for the impact of the characters and the way that the story could move forward. Now on to the newly airing shows of the season. The first that we have is Sakamoto Days. I have seen so many people talk fondly of the manga and saying that the source material is just really good, so I'm excited to see the adaptation for this and hopefully it lives up to the hype. So Honey Lemon Soda sounds like a cute coming of age story, and I'm hoping that the 2 main characters have good romantic chemistry together. It'll also be interesting to see how they utilize the friend group cast of characters, because they also seem like they could pair off if the story wanted to go that direction. Then we have I Got Married to the Girl I Hate Most in Class, another romance show, but this time sounding very much like Enemies to Lovers. Next we have I May Be a Guild Receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. This looks like a comedy fantasy adventure, and I'm interested to see how they bring in her combat experience versus why she would have decided to be a receptionist and things like that. I'm also just mildly worried about the quality of the CG that we saw in the trailer, but obviously it's not like that's a reason to not watch a show. Then we have Medaka Kuroiwa is Impervious to My Charms. This is another high school romance show. Looks like a standard harem. Another newly airing show is Übel Blatt, and this looks like a dark fantasy, so I have reservations about how gory it might be, but I've heard a lot of people say that the storytelling in the manga is really good, so it's probably still worth a try. Now we have another romance, but this time an office romance called I Have a Crush at Work. I think it could be cute, and the description makes it sound like it's not going to be a slow burn, so I appreciate that too. Then we have Medalist, which is an ice skating sports anime. I think considering her age, it would be interesting to see what that athletic group is capable of or what they're able to accomplish. Next we have Flower and Asura, or Asura. This is labeled as a drama slice of life revolving around the school's broadcasting club and the relationship between Hana and Mizuki. I don't know anything about the source material, but the trailer also gives it some Yuri vibes, so I guess we'll see how that ends up. Next we have Okitsura, or I Fell in Love with an Okinawan Girl, but I Just Wish I Knew What She Was Saying. I think this has some potential to be another cute romance, comedy, slice of life type thing. Next, we have an isekai where the main character chooses an alchemy skill and they learn how overpowered it is. With shows like this, obviously, it relies pretty heavily on the likability of the characters and the friend group that they make, and this one looks more like a harem, so we'll see how everything pans out. Now we have a reverse isekai with Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. I haven't super enjoyed a lot of the other shows where elves come to our world, but that doesn't mean that this one can't do something worthwhile. So it'll be interesting to see what they do to kind of help her acclimate to living in our world or reality. Then we have From Bureaucrat to Villainess, Dad's Been Reincarnated. So an older gentleman becoming the villainess in an otome game already sounds pretty funny by itself, so I'm interested to see if the gimmick of it is able to hold up the show for its entire length of time. Now we have Promise of Wizard, which is originally a video game, and I do believe it's also an otome game. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to give this show more of a soul without you personally being the player choosing which characters to romantically go after, and hopefully the magic is interesting. Another fantasy show that will be airing is I Left My A-Rank Party to Help My Students Reach the Dungeon Depths. Another one where I'm interested to see how they build on the magic system and any sort of world building that they might do. And I don't necessarily know what the age gap between him as being labeled as their teacher and them being labeled as students is, and so then I don't know if this is supposed to be set as like a traditional harem either. Next is Even Given the Worthless Appraiser class, I'm actually the strongest. I think I would like to see some more variety aside from the appraisal skill, because this feels like it comes up quite a lot now. Like, I'm glad the other show earlier was alchemy, because at least, again, it's variety into what skill that you're getting from your isekai experience. This sounds like it might not be an isekai though, that it is just straight fantasy, but it's based around your god-given talent that you're born with being your singular skill. And then I'm interested to see how they would take this from like a slice of life into actually being an action show, and who the villain would necessarily be and all of that stuff. For this isekai called I'm a Noble on the Brink of Ruin, so I might as well try mastering magic, we have another person that gets reincarnated into the life of an aristocrat and learning magic, and that makes this another one that'll just be based off of the execution, how they put together all these familiar elements. Here we have another high school romance, Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You. I've read a couple volumes of the manga and I remember liking it a decent amount, but it's been so long that I don't remember too much about the story. So I think that's good actually, because that makes me more excited to go into the adaptation and not necessarily be bringing in as many biases or expectations. Then we have Ameku MD, Doctor Detective. I think this could be kind of interesting because I don't remember seeing a house-style anime or something. I don't remember really seeing many medical-centric anime to begin with, so this could be kind of cool. Then we have Baban Vampire, which is a comedy BL, and I'm not sure how to feel about this from the trailer. It could really go one way or the other, but since there's vampires, I'm just gonna give it a shot anyway. Then we have the daily life of a middle-aged online shopper in another world. It'll be interesting to see how he utilizes his ability to generate income from being able to still buy goods from modern Japan while being stuck in this new world. And it'll be interesting to see what fantasy elements they also decide to implement here. From the trailer and the poster, you can already see beast people and a creature that we don't have in our normal world, which would be like a purple leopard. So this would be another isekai where we hope that the gimmick can carry it, and we'll see what the execution is like. Finally, we have Bogus Skill Fruitmaster. About that time, I became able to eat unlimited numbers of skill fruits that can kill you. Oh, it's a web novel source, not a light novel. I was going to say, this clearly sounds like a light novel title. This would be interesting to see if it is anywhere similar to Fruit of Evolution or what they decide to do with it. Some of the characters are designed in a way where you're just like, seen it before kind of thing, whatever, but even if it is relatively generic, if it can bring any level of comedy and enjoyment, then it's gonna be better than average. And that covers all of the shows that we're planning to watch for the winter 2025 anime season. The show that I'm looking forward to the most from returning seasons is going to be the Apothecary Diaries. And the show that I'm looking forward to most from new shows is Sakamoto Days. So let us know which show you're looking forward to watching the most, and if you're having fun, please like and subscribe.